All right, I'm all
All right.
yours.
All right. It kind of feels surreal talking to you because I've watched your podcast like 10 times with the Disruptor podcast
Oh
with
yeah,
Steve.
with
Yeah.
Steve. Yeah. Uh huh.
Yeah. I've just been rewatching that podcast over and over and over. So
Cool.
it feels surreal talking to you right now.
Good. Cool.
I like my job. Like it's afforded me to be able to buy certain stuff like I wouldn't be able to buy usually like your course for example. So I'm thankful for that. But I don't see myself like retiring at this job, like spending like the next 40 years of my life doing this. Like I love to have that mailbox money that you talked about. Yeah,
There you go.
yeah.
Okay. We haven't
So,
spoke before, have we?
no, this is our first time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
first
That's
time.
what I thought. I had another Xavier that hit me up here 2 or 3 months ago,
Okay.
and it's a unique name, and I didn't know if it was the same person or not, but I don't recognize it. And I don't think we did. So cool.
No, we haven't met.
So, are you doing anything in real estate right now?
I was trying the wholesaling thing, but I never got like a property. But through that, I have met people from meetups. I've attended the local meetups in my area and
Okay.
stuff like that. I have deal. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the software Deal Machine, but
Yep.
I invested in that, so I currently have that at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you doing any other type of marketing at all for wholesaling?
No, just driving for dollars and pulling lists from Deal Machine. That's about it.
Okay. That's a tough way to go, but okay. It's a good start.
Yeah,
It's a
yeah.
start. Okay.
Yeah, I understand that you recommend PPC, but I wasn't really sure like the cost, like how much are you spending in PPC to do that?
Well, what I spend and what you have to spend are two different things.
Okay.
I've got a team of 12 or 13 people here that work for me, or with me, I should say. And so we're pulling in anywhere from between PPC and direct mail, we pull 300 to 400 leads a month for my
Wow.
acquisitions team to actually work with and that kind of thing. So, have you gone through the course yet?
I'm halfway through there. I've stopped
Okay.
where the contract deep dive. I've stopped at that
Okay.
video,
Okay.
but
Cool.
I fairly understand what you're doing. It's lease options, correct? But that's mainly like your bread and butter.
Yeah. So let's just talk a little bit up front here. So in the course, the first thing you're going to get is your scripts, get your marketing going. At that point, you're going to be able to talk to the sellers. When you're talking to the sellers, have you looked at the calculator already?
Yes, I've seen your calculator, the
Okay.
Excel.
So make sure you have that, because the first thing I look at is can I take it down and put it in my portfolio and get mailbox money? That's the first thing I look at. So that's the first step of the calculator. The next step, taking it down, I'm talking about taking it down with seller financing. I'm talking about taking it down with, I'll call it a sub 2 wrap, even though it's not a sub 2, it's a wrap is what it is the way we do it. It keeps the seller safe, where sub 2s that they're teaching today, in my opinion, is wrong, because the seller is not in a safe position to get their property back if anybody defaults. So I call it a wrap. Um, and then the last thing is using private money and paying cash for the deal. Okay. So those are the takedown methods. Now, does everything ever always fit in the portfolio? No. At that point, I don't wholesale. Wholesale is a very difficult transaction to me. So we novate them using novations. Okay. We're having a real estate agent sell it for us. We're taking a spread in the middle. And we have a lot better luck. Plus, our spreads are $30,000. Okay. Instead of $10,000 or $7,000 that a typical wholesale deal is. So you
Yeah.
make more money. At the same time, on an novation, you're able to give the seller more money than you can with a wholesale. What I mean by that is, when you look at here, let me share a screen with you. So the first part of this calculator here is strictly looking at how to do, blow it up a little bit so you can see it easier, is strictly on how to do cash flow. Okay. We're calling it cash flow / sub 2. It's actually a wrap if you're going to do that. We're looking at rental rates. We're looking at PITI. Do you know what PITI is?
The mortgage, the taxes. Yeah.
Yep. Principal, interest, tax, insurance. Correct.
Yeah.
If it's all there, then you have it all in one. If not, then you got to add your taxes and insurance in. You're looking at any HOA, any type of rears, all this kind of stuff. What happens when you run this calculator, it will give you that cash flow. I like to see a minimum of $400, and that's what you see right here. That's what I like to see. If it does not cash flow, then at that point, we're going to move over here to a novation calculator. You can come back here, Bree. We're going to go to a novation calculator. The way this thing works is pretty simple. The first thing you got to do is figure out what you can sell it for on the open market. So let's say you're in Waco there, you find a house, you think the ARV is about $250,000. Okay. Well, if they're selling for 250, you want to be below that because you want a fast sale. So at that point, we're going to put in a novation price. Let's say we're going to sell it for $240,000. So it's $50 or $10,000 less than the going prices over there. Okay. At that point, this calculator is going to tell you how much you can offer for it. Okay. So what in this particular scenario, let's say I want to make a minimum of $30,000. So I'm going to plug in here $200,000. That's only going to make me 11. I'll explain this in just a second. So that ain't going to work. So I'm going to punch in 180. There we go. I like to see this at a $30,000 profit all the time. Okay. So what this tells you is I'm going to have to pay commissions because what a novation is I'm going to use my contract that my attorney gave me to get it under contract. Okay. Now I have it under contract. Now I'm going to go contact a real estate agent in Waco to do the dispo for me. So I don't have to do it. So I'm going to call this agent. That agent's going to tell me that, yeah, stuff's selling for about $250,000. You're going to come back and say, great, I want a fast sale. I want it done in a week. Let's price it $10,000 under what you think you can sell it for. So I can sell it fast. So that's where the 240 came from. Well, because of that, I'm going to have a buying agent and I'm going to have a selling agent. I'm going to have to pay them 6%. Okay. I know with the new laws, I'm the seller, whatever, I'm going to pay the buyer's commission. Okay. So that's where that 6% comes in. Then over here, you have 3% concessions. Well, what are concessions? Basically, that means I can assist the buyer, and the buyer you're getting is the homeowner. It's a person that is going to be living in that house. Well, maybe they need a little help with closing costs. So I already factor in 3% that I can help them. So I can help out $7,200 worth of their closing costs. Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
This is what I call a slush fund because we may or may not use that number. Okay. Down here, there are going to be closing costs. We are going to pay for some closing costs in this transaction. We always use up around $2,000. Sometimes it's not even that, but we always use it. Then let's say that the buyer comes to us and says, hey, John, you got to fix this, this, and this. Okay, so now I equated $5,000 already so that I can pay to fix that stuff. I'm not going back to the seller because the seller, I'm guaranteeing them a net number. So they don't have to mess with any of this bullshit. Okay. I'm telling that seller right here, I can pay him $180,000 and I'm going to guarantee that. So if everything comes through, I pay the 6%, I pay the 3%, I pay the $2,000, and I have $5,000 worth of repairs I have to pay. I may not pay this, may not have to. My potential profit's $31,000. Okay. Now, what's cool about the calculator is that 7,200 I talked about before, and that 5,000 is a slush fund. That's another $12,000 you may or may not use. If you do not use that $12,000, now that $31,000 just went to $43,000 assignment fee. Make sense?
Yes.
Okay, so now this calculator just told you that you can offer this person $180,000 and make $31,000. Now, let's say they come back and say, you know, I can't do 180, but I will do 190. Okay, bummer. I can make 21,000 and still have $12,000 worth of slush funds. So I could potentially make $33,000. But I know I should make at least 21. So it's a fast calculator. Let's just do 200. Maybe this seller won't go under $200,000. Okay, I still make $11,000 with a $12,000 slush. I can still make $23,000, but I know I'm going to make 11. Make sense?
Yeah.